with Rodolfo Roman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is your co-main event of the evening. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Farkhad Sharipov.
There we have it. Wasting no time. Farkhad Sharipov, 32 years old. He is 5'7", born in Kyrgyzstan, but now calls Kissimmee, Florida home. He is representing Sharipov MMA Academy, a veteran of 23 fights. He earned this crack at Titan FC Gold after securing a split decision victory at Titan FC 40 versus Bruce Luchbilial. In his spare time, he loves to box. He fought on a Mayweather card, a Chavez card. He is a pro boxer who's fought Olympians. He's fought world champions. He's fought Pan-American champions. At one point, took a boxing bout on 2 days' notice.
You know what? He's a guy that I would say probably one of the most experienced in everything. He's grappled with some of the best grapplers on the planet. He's boxed with some of the best boxers on the planet. And he's fought with multiple UFC fighters. You know, he feels like he belongs at that next level, and he feels like Andrew Whitney can't hold a candle to him. And so he wants to go out there tonight and really put on a dominating statement and claim that title.
One thing I like about Sharipov is the fact that he is absolutely just sweats and just breathes confidence. He is absolutely fearless, and it doesn't matter who he faces against. He just has this aura about him that it doesn't matter who it is. His job is to simply show up and fight, and he's going to do whatever he can to take out Andrew Whitney tonight.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, Andrew Whitney.
There you have it, Andrew Whitney. Now, while Sharipov is 16-7 in MMA, Whitney is 14-4. He is 32 years old, stands 5'7", originally from Springfield, Missouri. He is riding a 4-fight winning streak, and he earned this shot at Titan FC Gold after a second-round TKO victory over Anderson Dos Santos, also at Titan FC 40. This is a guy, as we know, suffered a bit yesterday to try and make the weight. It wasn't much that he had to lose, but he did suffer as he didn't make it on his first or his second attempt.
You know what? And if there's anything that you can say about this guy, that's a knock on him, is that he has had a big problem making that weight. And he had to suffer again yesterday because he came in overweight. His opponent said, no, I don't want that, just the extra money. You know, you're being unprofessional. You need to make the weight. Andrew Whitney went out, ran, did what he had to do because he really wanted that strap. He made the weight, and, you know, I am excited he made the weight and made this an official fight for that belt.
He, to my understanding, the suffering he endured to try and make that weight. People sometimes, if you've never had to try to lose that one last pound, how difficult it actually is. But the issue with Andrew Whitney is what he did is he saw the belt, he touched the belt, and he said, this is what I'm fighting for. This is what it's all about. I have to lose this weight, despite the suffering I'm going to go through. And he did. We were there an hour, 2 hours after the weigh-ins in the room there having our production meeting. And lo and behold, in walks in Andrew Whitney, stepped on the scale, had a bit more to go, but did an absolutely fantastic job. Proved to himself that he can dig deep within himself. The fight before the fight is the weigh-in. He did a fantastic job. He made the weight. This bout is official, and it's going to become truly official right now with Rodolfo Roman.
Fight fans, the following contest is your co-main event of the evening, and it is for the Titan FC Bantamweight Championship title of the world. It is scheduled for 5 rounds, brought to you by Regrip. Regrip any tool, lever, or handle. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man walked in with a record of 16-7. He is a freestyle fighter who weighed in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Kissimmee, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, Farkhad Sharipov. cage. This man is fighting out of the red corner. He walks in with a record of 14-4. He is a freestyle fighter who weighed in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Kansas City, Missouri, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew the Beast Whitney! And your referee, George Alonso.
Andrew, Farkhad. Okay, fighters, I gave you the instructions earlier today. Okay, let me remind you to take yourself at all times and obey my commands. Shake hands. Good luck.
We're looking at tail to tape here. Both guys very experienced. They have the same height. Not much of an age difference there, but the reach advantage, just 2 inches, goes to Frank Sharipov. Once again, our tail tape brought to you by He's a 10. It's time for him. All right, let's take a look at our fighter breakdown brought to you by Regrip.
You know, for Andrew Whitney, he's got to use his newfound wrestling because he's going up against a guy that is very experienced in the stand-up with his boxing and kickboxing. So he's got to use that wrestling. Use the wrestling to control how your opponent approaches this fight. And for Frank, he's got to use his experience, control that distance, use his footwork, and look to counter Andrew Whitney as he comes in with that wrestling and trying to take him down. You know what? Something very interesting about this fight is Sharipov takes this fighting very, very seriously. Andrew Whitney comes in again yesterday, overweight, and Sharipov said, no, I made the weight. I need him to make the weight. And Andrew Whitney said, maybe his corner said that, they felt that Frank was scared and he didn't want to just take the fight. And Frank said, no, you know what? I'm a professional. You need to be a professional. You need to make the weight. I spent the time to cut the weight and get down. You need to do the same. Andrew Whitney had to do it, and he made the weight.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not an easy task, but there's also mind games involved. Sharipov wanted this to be an official title fight. Both guys have to make weight in Florida, or actually anywhere when it's a title fight. You have to be bang on what the weight is. If it's 135, you must be 135. Unfortunately for Whitney, 135.2 didn't cut it. You have to make it 135. And Sharipov simply said, you know what, no, you need to cut it. I'm not accepting 20% of your purse, even though I can win the title and you cannot win the title. You're going to cut that weight.
Exactly, and he made him do that. And when that comment was made that, he's scared, he doesn't want to take the fight, I was like, you know what? I'll fight him right now in the parking lot. I quote from him. He said, I'll fight him right now in the parking lot. I'm not scared of anybody. I've fought BKP. I've grappled with some of the best in the world. I'll fight anybody, anytime, any day.
These two guys are approaching the midway portion of the first round. Nothing crazy thus far. They're just feeling on each other, throwing stuff. Remember, this is a 5-round fight. Okay, this is not a 3-rounder. This is not 15 minutes. It is scheduled for 25 minutes. You want to start getting explosive in a title fight like this, you better be very careful.
Yeah, both guys are taking their time. They're kind of feeling each other out. They're landing strikes. Nothing with full commitment yet, but they're landing strikes and trying to feel each other out. And one thing that Frank said was that he knows Andrew Whitney has a big right hand. He's going to take his time. When he throws that right hand, I'm going to step back and I'm going to counter him and put him on his butt. Beautiful fake there by Andrew Whitney. Fake that right hand, step back. Nice, really kick there. He shakes it off like nothing there, but you can't put your chin up and put your arms out. Then you got to still stay in the fight.
At this level, it's a game of nuances. The smallest of moves, the smallest of techniques, the smallest of errors is the difference between a fight.
As you can see, it's a chess match there. Andrew Whitney kind of patiently waited as Sharipov threw that jab, step back and look for a big counter with that right hand.
Nice elbows and a left hook by Sharipov.
It's an interesting combination because most guys don't look for the elbow right away.
Sharipov beginning to, his precision is really beginning to pick up here.
Yeah, big left kick. He said that he can control this fight anyway. He's going to take control from the start now, and it's looking like that right now.
35 seconds left in the opening round here. Scheduled for 5 rounds. Sharipov going for the takedown. He gets it down to the ground. Looking for the back, but nope, rolls over.
Like a true veteran, he knows it's a short time. He wanted to solidify the round and let the judges know that, hey, I won this one. You know, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Wanted the takedown, got the takedown. And I think now that's going to create a little hesitance from Andrew Whitney.
I like how Sharipov bob weaves and ducks while he was loading up there for something. There it is right there. He wanted that knee a little bit earlier. Unofficial